We're just gonna start.
We want to talk about the 911 flag, and a lot of us had, especially my organization, went through a lot of hardship and sometimes hard times with this flag. Even though it's an honorable thing for us to have this flag. There's only 3 flags survived at 911, the Twin Towers. One that stayed in New Jersey Museum, and one is kept at, I think it was the fire department, police department in New York City. And then this other one, my tribal veteran service officer at that time was going to school in Massachusetts, I believe it was at that time. And he called back and said that we're gonna get a 911 flag, one of the biggest flags to survive. Oh yeah, right, sure. And it happened. He brought it back, and we wanted to find out how it came to us. And a gentleman by the name of Senator Daschle wanted us to have this, and wanted us to give it to us to keep it, remind the people all over the United States, to remind them that there's a terrorism that's going on, and it will probably never end. And we, I guess, all of us, non-veterans, honor our veterans. Really, we held them in high regard and are very respectful people. So all those people have died in that 911, and the people have died since the war started up until today. We travel with this flag all over the United States and remind people why this was there, why it was there, why we showing it to them. Because wherever this flag is invited, we have to go with them. And sometimes we sleep in our bus and our vans just to get there. And sometimes we chip in our food to buy a burger, and sometimes we don't have nothing to come back on. But this is something that's very honorable that we have and we travel with. And we're proud of it, but again, sometimes it gets to be a burden because you do a lot of traveling. Price of the gas is so high. So we have that. That's how we got that, and we travel everywhere. Wherever it's invited, we have to go. And I think Robert has some final statistics. So that's how we got that flag. Because we honor veterans, I guess more, held them high respect and in high regards for them. So that's how we got that. So I think Robert has the majority of the story to that, how he got it.
My name is Robert Dunsworth, Tribal Veteran Service Officer. Back in 2005, I was in a VA program, drug and alcohol treatment program, and they wanted to start a new program. It was called VETS, Veterans Exchange Training Services, between Bedford, Massachusetts, and Black Hills VA in South Dakota. And I thought they were joking around or whatever. They came to me, "You want to go to Boston?" What am I going to do in Boston? But after they talked to me for a while, I decided to try it, so I went to Boston, Massachusetts. Part of that deal was I got trained by the VA, spent a lot of time in Boston, working with senators and different issues on veterans, American Indian veterans issues. And during that time out there in Massachusetts, as Indians, we found an Indian center in Boston, so I was the only one out there for a little over a year by myself. So I got acquainted with a few of the Indian communities out there, different types of Indians, with Indians communicate with Indians. I worked with an Indian center called UNAT, United Nations American Cultural Center on Fort Devens, Massachusetts. Multicultural Indian Diversity Center. And through all these programs, I ran into a gentleman on one of my trips to DC, and he said, "I have something for you guys." He wouldn't tell me what it was or whatever. And he said, "I'll get it to you." So during that time when I was out there, well, then we ended up with a couple other veterans from South Dakota showing up. We were attending different functions, and they never really had Indian honor guards like we have out here. So we were asked to start one, which we started one. And we got well known out there, and this gentleman kept saying, "I have something for you." And I'd run into him in different places. And finally one day, we were at some event in Powwow, and he showed up, and he turned around and he said, "I brought something for you, and I have something." So we didn't know what it was, and he came police officer for New York City for almost 30 years. He retired shortly after 9/11. After what he'd seen there, he explained what he'd seen, and what had happened was he was supposed to gather up all these flags and destroy it. That was his last mission before he retired, and what he'd seen there during 9/11. And he told us, he said, I couldn't destroy these flags. They mean something. He didn't really know what they meant. So he told me one of the flags he gave to an honor guard in New York City. It was in a display case. He was originally from New Hampshire, where he moved back to. He put the second one in an American Legion post in New Hampshire. And the third one, he said, because of what he'd seen and everything else, he believed in some of the Indian culture. He did go through some Indian ceremonies with it. And he didn't want nobody to forget what happened. And he said, you guys travel a lot. And I thought hard on it, prayed on it. And he said, he wanted us to have this flag. Since then, we've had this flag. I traveled with it all over the East Coast when I was out there for 2.5 years with the VA, going to school, training, being part of an honor guard out there to the cultural center there and diversity, and bringing realization of what was going on for 9/11. And he wanted this to be a traveling flag so that people never forget what happened. Like Vietnam, all the other ones, it's past, they don't want to forget. So since then, since we've had this flag, we have traveled from East Coast to West Coast, Canada, all over the United States with it. We have approximately over 70,000 miles on it since we've had it. We've never had it cleaned or nothing. We've had a veterans work program built the case that it's carried in. It was all made by veterans. It was something that people never want. They don't want nobody to forget what happened. So this war, nothing's swept under the rug and forgot about. We were losing a lot of people. The state of South Dakota alone have lost over 40 veterans, 2 enrolled members from Cheyenne River. And it's something that it's an honor to carry this flag, so these people, people don't forget about what's happening. And when we open this flag up, display it in different places, you'll notice we've got people tell us they can smell the smoke and the ashes and the death on it. There is energy there. We do know that. I mean, it's our culture where we believe in spirits and things like that. We do know there's spirits that travel with this flag. For some reason, we get to where we got to go and get home. Snowstorms, ice storm. We've traveled a lot of places with this flag. When we went to Obama's inauguration of a 30-hour drive through an ice storm, it was exciting, I guess. But it's something that we do, and it's an honor for us to do this, so people never forget about what happened. So we can take care of our soldiers coming back better than they were disgraced when they came back from Vietnam or the other wars. Yeah, and it's interesting because we get to go a lot of places, meet a lot of different people, and we were always asked, well, why do you guys have it? Well, we fought first, we fought for this country, and we're still fighting, even to this day with treaties, everything else. So it is an honor to take this flag around, and it's so that people don't forget about